little interesting factoid. The Nintendo Switch 2 is currently the last modern console on the market that gives you the option of 100% physical media. Let me explain. That means you can go to the store, buy a Nintendo Switch, buy a game from its library, walk out to the parking lot of that store, unbox the console, open the game, pop the game in the console, and without any internet checks, play through the entire game. And yes, before you start hitting the comments, I understand it's not every game on the Nintendo Switch, but this is a choice that Nintendo is allowing the game developer to make, like Cyberpunk, for instance, or Mario Kart. The entire game is installed on this game card. No internet check or download necessary. I know, it's kind of crazy because you've probably heard otherwise, but it's true. Now, if you want to know which games for the Nintendo Switch 2 contain the entire game, it'll say right at the very bottom of the game case. It will tell you this game requires a download to play, making the Nintendo Switch 2, contrary to popular belief, the very last modern console to give you the option of a physical game, which is also the reason why we're seeing so many Nintendo Switch 1 games skyrocket in price, because people are now realizing that 10, 20, 30 years from now, they can pull their Nintendo Switch collection off the shelf, pop it in a Nintendo Switch, and still play it. You know, unlike every other video game console, which has to hit an online check of some kind. And while most of them do have offline modes, you still have to hit an online check to enable that mode. And so in celebration of our last physical hurrah, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at some of the interesting choices Nintendo has made in physical media. These little babies are Nintendo disc cards. And it's very possible they don't even look familiar to you. I mean, unless you lived in Japan, because it's the type of media that the Famicom disk system took. And the whole reason Nintendo released the disk system is because back in the day, cartridges didn't have the write ability, meaning the device could read from the cartridge, but it couldn't write to the cartridge, so you couldn't save your game. And another thing that a lot of people didn't know, this medium is the very first place The Legend of Zelda was ever released, before it was released on cartridge, and actually before it was called The Legend of Zelda, when it was called the Hyrule Fantasy Legend of Zelda. But by the time that Zelda made it to North America, technology caught up and you were able to save your games to the cartridge, meaning they never actually released the Famicom disk system outside of Japan. Nintendo, I truly hope you keep putting out physical media, even if it's just an option you're giving game developers, because all things come back around in the end.